Because of what my brothers had done to me, I instinctively reacted. The person was pulled up off the ground and over my shoulder as I bent forward. The person landed on the side of their head and one shoulder. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber, and he shares a story from his childhood about how growing up, just like a lot of young guys have older brothers do, he had older brothers that used to always roughhouse with him. They're always beating each other up and doing all these things that boys do, which are, let's be honest, pretty stupid, but it's what we all did, especially those that had older brothers, older cousins. And actually, with all the roughhousing, it actually helps him out down the road. And you're going to see, guys, in this story how when he was in middle school, I think the 8th grade, one day somebody attacked him from behind the hallway. But thanks to all the roughhousing from his brothers, he knew what to do. The thing is, the big surprise was the person that attacked him from behind wasn't a guy, it was a gal. A girl who had a reputation for being a man-hater, even back then. And let's just say things turned out to be very interesting. But here's the deal. She had apparently a habit of doing that to a lot of guys there and doing something else pretty gross to them after she tackled them to the ground. It is really screwed up. It is a truth stranger than fiction type of scenario here. You guys are going to be both disgusted with and laugh at the same time. But anyhow, I thought it'd be a good one to go over here. It's quick, but it's entertaining and definitely worthy of this channel. So it starts off, he says, my dad had married a woman with 3 kids, and they had one together. Long story short, she was an alcoholic. So my dad ended up with custody of all 4 kids. My mom had a child from her first marriage and lied to my dad saying she was pregnant to get my dad to marry her. Yeah, that never happens. Then after they were married, she really did get pregnant, and I was the result. This was in the early 1970s. When the marriage ended, she blamed me rather than the fact that she had lied to my dad to trap him, then became fat and lazy. I can see this guy's attitude here while he writes and tells me these stories. And by the way, shout out to you, bro, for sending this story. So, I technically had 3 older brothers and 2 older sisters. And my brother's favorite game was choking me until I passed out, then dumping me in the front yard in my birthday suit and locked out of the house. This stopped when I started playing soccer with their junk. Again, this sounds like, this is, on the one hand, it's awful. What they did here, choking him and then until he passed out and put him in his front yard butt naked and he can't get back in the house and he's probably running around the yard butt naked, jumping into windows trying to get in. But it's also, let's be honest, kind of funny, but just the stuff that boys do when they're younger, it's... Anyhow, he says, now, fast forward to when I was in the 8th grade. I need to use the restroom during class, so I got a hall pass to go out. On my way back to the classroom, someone grabbed me from behind. Because of what my brothers had done to me, I instinctively reacted. The person was pulled up off the ground and over my shoulder as I bent forward. The person landed on the side of their head and one shoulder. So, all that roughhousing with the brothers really toughened him up for a tough world. But here's the deal. What he thought you're going to see, it wasn't exactly what he thought. My assailant was a male-hating female, and she ended up with a broken collarbone and concussion. I immediately felt bad for her having hurt a female. She was raced to the hospital, and the police were called, but because she had grabbed me from behind and there were marks on my neck, the police labeled the incident as self-defense. Well, it was self-defense. But, it doesn't exactly seem that way by her family. Her parents tried to press charges and to sue mine for her injuries. However, before the court case, the following things came out. Now listen to this. This is the disgusting truth stranger than fiction element of the story. There are about 30 male students in my school that had gone to the nurse following an assault when they were rendered unconscious and woke up wet and smelling of urine. What? The assault abruptly stopped when the female that attacked me ended up in the hospital. Long story short, they correlated all the attacks to times when she was not in class. Apparently she'd get a hall pass and go use the restroom. So she was doing the sleeper hold on these guys and then urinating on them. That is freaking disgusting. This goes to a whole new level of having issues with guys. Sneaking up behind them, choking them, they pass out, and she climbs aboard and lifts her skirt and, in her case, not a skirt, and does her business on the guys. Can't make this shit up. So, she was doing the sleeper holding the guys, blah, blah, blah. Then the evidence was circumstantial. It was turned over to the police, and when they questioned her, she ended up admitting to doing those attacks. 30 different guys she did this to. Her parents dropped the lawsuits against my parents, and she was charged with all the assaults and one attempted assault. I don't regret hurting her, as I didn't know that it was a female attacking me until it was too late. Knowing what she intended to do, I have no regrets, but I do feel a little bad for her injuries. I would not feel bad at all for anything there, but doing that, I mean, I've never heard anything like that before. It was freaking disgusting, but like I said, guys, this is a short story here, and I mean, not very long, but this guy sent me this story, and I couldn't resist doing this, but, I mean, I've heard a lot of things, but actually, 30 different young guys this happened to. It is amazing that word hadn't gotten around about this. But then again, well, let's be honest. If you were a guy that happened to you, would you want to go around telling everybody? But it's amazing that nobody actually witnessed any of this. But 30 different dudes. But she got what she deserved. And frankly, I hope they all got together and sued her. You know? I mean, at the end of the day, one could say, well, it's not her parents' fault. But still, regardless, something has to happen to her. But anyhow, guys, it's a quick one, but that'll be a crazy one to show you. Truth is stranger than fiction. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, if you got a crazy story you'd like to share with me from your childhood, not necessarily something like this, well, I don't care. Whatever it is, something crazy, something outrageous, send it over. Send to my email address, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just be sure to write out well. I don't care if it's a couple pages long or 10 pages long. It's a crazy story. Share it. We all like to enjoy it for a quick laugh here on this channel. And also, guys, as well, if you come across a crazy story online or article, anything like that, you can also send that as well. I'll do it when I can. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.